The following is a Thorf TV production brought to you in cooperation with Jack Thorfinson. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sunday Gun Chat, that relaxing time way up north at Mr. Holster's ranch, where Mr. Holster reflects on the weekend events and talks about guns. Let's have a warm round of applause for that relaxed YouTube personality, Mr. Holster. Relaxed YouTube personality. You gotta be kidding me, Jack. After last night, did he even get up? God, I thought he was dead there for a while. He was passed out by the bar. Oh, Mr. Holster, hey! Howdy, Bart. Yeah, it's me, Mr. Holster. Another weekend has gone by with Jack and Mr. Holster all to themselves. The wife and her kids went down to the cities, and we were here left to our own devices. Jack, and it was a tough weekend. Jack was really, he really took this breakup hard, which I guess I understand it, because, you know, he's always had 3 or 4 girlfriends at once, so I can see where this one would have been a hard breakup, because what he really truly loved in life, he finally found. Yeah. Money. he was getting stuff for nothing, and he was living high on the hog. And yeah, he's taking it hard. He loved that car. He just loved that car. But frankly, I was getting a little sick of that whole routine of every time I wanted him to do something, he'd be in that car, look at me, and then out the gate he went. Yeah, it was getting old fast. How Higgins put up with it all those years, I'll never know. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is what happens when the wife's gone for the weekend. We've been working too hard, Jack and I. And so I think it's time to just slow down, Sunday, relax, and reflect on the events of the weekend. To the sunny slopes of long ago. That doesn't heat you up and cool you down all at the same time. There we go. A roller coaster ride here at the ranch. 70-degree day, freezing. 3 inches of snow. I tell you, this has been one of the weirdest springs that I ever remember. At least since I've been living up here. And when I used to work and live down in the cities, yeah, everything was weird down there. So nothing surprises you. I remember this once. Well, I guess I probably shouldn't tell that story, because nowadays it's not politically correct. There was this fella who was, and there was a lot of talk, because he got stuck with this job, and he was quite upset when they gave it to him. He had to work undercover down in what the area is called Loring Park, which is a notorious area for, at the time, gentlemen to find other gentlemen. Spurs barking. And any rate, why I was laughing is he did not want to go undercover and take this assignment, but you know, he got quite good at it. That's why I'm laughing. To the point where he really worked on his outfits. Of course, nowadays, you know, they don't care. At any rate, there's so many things I laugh at all the time. See, I find the whole thing humorous. Not unlike my Gelco holster and going through some stamper at the post office and leaving those marks on there. See, stuff like that I just find humorous, because, yeah, you know, there are people out there, and Andy Artunian, in his day, he was the guy, you know. That's where you went if you're a bodyguard or, yeah, pretty much, that's where you went. He made the stuff. And the stuff you see nowadays, it wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him. He was the guy that started doing that. He was the guy, you know? The truly form-fitted. And this is what's so great about when the leather is form-fitted around the gun. It has retention built in just because it's form-fitted around the gun, number one. But number two, I think of all the great guns I had over the years. Comes to mind, right off the top, would be that nicely blued Walther P88. Actually, I had a pair of them. And I had a shoulder rig from Andy Artunian, plus I had a 3 o'clock holster. And I carried those for at least 3 years every day, those two guns. 3 years every day. And when the guns got discontinued, you see, I still do. I don't like carrying guns or using guns that aren't current. Because I want to be able to get parts. If they go down, I want to be able to get part accessibility. And when they quit making them, then, you know, they're retired. They're kind of collectibles at that point. And a lot of guns I've had over the years, when they become collectibles, yeah, I sold them because the price on them spiked. So I keep them. Mr. Holster can only keep so much. So I had those two guns, and it was actually probably closer to 4 years that I carried those than 3 years. Those two guns. And when I sold those guns, they they're cosmetically, if you disregard, and they were so finely made, they really did not, the finish, they did not show wear from being shot because they were so, I think that was the point. If you took all the guns Walther has ever made in their life, the life of that company, that was the pinnacle for Walther, was the P88. After that, it's just been downhill ever since. To the point where now, I did a review, and I've long since deleted them because I got so much hate from them. I did a review of the Walther CCP, which I personally think is an abomination to the name Walther. It's like the worst gun they have ever made. Now this new one that's out, that's inexpensive, $300. Let me go back to and I should pull the receipt out for that and see what it was. But my recollection is that gun cost almost $1,000 back in 1988, 89 period. I'm pretty sure I paid $1,000 or more for that gun. I am pretty sure. Which was what, 28 years ago. You go out and buy a $1,000 gun nowadays, you can get a nice gun for $1,000. But you notice there are not a lot of handguns much above $1,000 without going to Wilson Combat or some company like that. The gun manufacturers across the counter in your gun shop, boy, you're looking at a really expensive gun when it goes above $1,000. Like my Sig P239 10mm, that was a $1,200 gun. And trying to think of what else they have in that particular gun shop. Of course, you know, we're way up here near the Canadian border, so they're not too expensive. Of course, you go buy a nice 1911 Dan Wesson 1911, you're going to be way above that. But so you think back to that date and how much, but that gun was so nicely made. So at any rate, carried them in those holsters, and when I sold them, yeah, they looked like absolute new. And that's because Andy Artunian is, he makes those, he form fits them. He spends so much time boning, the wet molding, the leather to those guns. They just mold perfectly, and they just go in and they come out, and you don't have that holster wear. That is the advantage to molding them, wet molding them like that finally, versus a holster that's just stitched on the edges like the one, the El Paso holster that I had to get wet to fit my Sig in, the 1911. Yeah, that's, if I had a blue 1911, would I put it in that holster? No, no, no. Even after my little wet molding it still is not molded. Yeah. At any rate, we'll get off that subject because now I've wasted 11 minutes of your life you'll never get back again. I haven't got to the box yet. We're doing an unboxing. This is a Joey Cuz unboxing. And if you've not gone to Joey Cuz's website, website. Well, you know, I'm an old guy. If you haven't gone to his channel, his YouTube channel, I don't know that he has a website. He might just cuz. At any rate, I'll put a link right here. Yeah. And check him out. He's a funny guy. If you watch him enough, you can maybe even understand him. But I've been told by numerous people that if you put on your closed caption option so you can read what he's saying, it's very funny. Yeah. Anyway, he's a New Yorker. That explains that. But you should check him out because he's fighting a good fight there. But he always does these unboxings, and I mention him because he's a big Sig fan, and that's what we're unboxing here, a vintage, kind of vintage Sig. Because to me, a gun that's 12 years old is not vintage. Yeah. Not quite old enough, because I'm wearing underwear that's older than that. I know, you didn't need to know that. At any rate, we're going to open this up and see what Mr. Holster got for his 500 bucks. Dramatic, isn't it? Yeah, I'll put that aside. See, it went out because I didn't. At any rate, we got a blue. It matches the case, a blue gun lock. And since this is a vintage gun, I'm gonna throw it over here, but I'm gonna do it in the old-fashioned way. Right into the circular file. Oh, look, a vintage sticker. Yeah, it's got a vintage sticker. I think I'll put that up over here. Yeah, I will. I think I will. Right next to my current one that's, you know, more tactical looking, the black and silver one. We'll put the old-fashioned one up next to it. I like that. That's kind of cool, actually. We got a manual, which I can't show you because then you know what gun it is. It says, be aware of those around you. If their actions are not in keeping with safe gun handling procedures, tell them. Or say to them, get the hell away from me. That's what I do. At any rate, put that back in. And they got this little foam thing that fits in. It doesn't go in there with crap. Okay, we'll get the gun out. We'll put the box aside. Let you see the box. Nowadays they have nice little black, gray, tactical looking boxes. This one's kind of, yeah, I've not been a real fan of blue. At any rate, put that aside. Here it is, this gun, and I saw this gun in they took it on trade about a week ago, and I looked at it and I liked it. It's everything I like, but I hemmed and hawed because of the caliber it's in. Because I vowed never to buy another one of these in my life because I think it's going to end up being really expensive ammo in the future. But I just had to get it. Let's look at it. It is a Sig P239. Yeah. SAS model, which the SAS models are the rounded, soap-like rounded edges. And this one happens to be a DAK, D-A-K, which is their version of a double action only, D-A-O. I don't know what the K stands for. Don't know. I didn't do the research like I should have. Because I don't care. Any rate, it's just a nice little gun. It's a little thick, I will say. For a single stack, it's a little thick. But you know, all SIGs are, they have that big, huge slide on the top. They're always a little thick. And a very nice wood grips, which I know is not in style nowadays. But me being an old guy, yeah, I kind of like them. And of course, it's got the spurless hammer because it's double action only. Single stack magazine. Here's the downfall to this gun is this is all that came with it is one magazine. Whoever traded it obviously decided he'd sell the other mag. Or he had more than one. We don't know. These are very expensive at $38 a pop. At least I feel that's expensive for a magazine, especially a single stack. Holds 7 rounds. We'll put that aside. And here's the deal. There is no decocker. No big Sig decocker right here. You've got your slide release and your takedown lever, and that's it. It's very clean. And I'm pretty sure I know when this was made. I did a little research. And in 2005, they discontinued making this model in the two-tone. And from the indications on the box and what little... I could find very little on serial numbers on this. And every forum I saw said, well, call SIG and they'll tell you if it's within 10 years old, they'll tell you what the... and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know... If I worked for a company and I had people calling me up every day saying, "Yeah, I got this used gun, and if I give you the serial number, can you tell me when it was made?" I'd be like, "Why do you care when it was made? Seriously, why do you want me to go look that up for you?" Any rate, so no, I'm not doing that. But from my little research, I think this was made in 2005, so it's about 12 years old. It's got, and it's very interesting because this is what everybody, all my buddies that were bodyguards are telling me and everybody's using nowadays is a night sight on the front and really no markings on the rear sight, or they're going for like this, the snowman or ice cream cone kind of thing. And this one has just a regular sight on the back with a white line, but it's got a night sight on the front. I just think that's... Of course, you know, SIG's always used that blade, that vertical blade line in the rear sight and the dot in the front. They always put the dot on top of that line, dot the eye. That goes back to the original SIG, the 220. So that doesn't surprise me, but that is basically the thing that's in vogue. In vogue right now is that. And it actually, which I'm not going to do in front of the camera because it's really faint, but you still have that night sight there. It's still working after all these years, guys. And I'll line that up so you can see that, what I'm talking about, if I can. Let's get it. I'll move that. My Vepr parts. My Vepr parts came in. That's my big project for Monday. I'm going to put my Vepr together. Yeah, we got all the components for that. I don't know if you can see that or not. Mr. Holster's getting sold. He can't see it. But yeah, it's 40 Smith & Wesson, and I was gonna try and get out of 40 Smith & Wesson, but this guy was just crying out, "I want someone to love me, who knows who I am and what I am." Yeah, which way up here near the Canadian border, you know, there's no offense to everybody that lives up here, but it's kind of a sophisticated gun in when it comes to... Any rate, yeah, and I picked it up, and oh boy, it was just hard to put it back down. You know what I'm saying? And I put it back down because I said to the fellow that owns the store, if that were in 9mm, I'd be walking out the door with it, but 40 Smith & Wesson, I won't do it. You know, a week later, yeah, I went back. I went back and got it. I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. I had to have it. So there. So here's the deal. Double action only. And I would say, and I didn't test it so I don't know, but I'll put down below. You might check underneath what the pull on it was. I'm going to go out on a limb now and say that that is 11 pounds. And I'll test it and I'll put the number down there. Yeah, you know, I'm saying it's more. I think it's going to be over on my gauge, which only goes to 12 pounds, but we'll see. And I'll put the number down there. You might want to check it out. But yeah, just a fantastic old gun. And this one has, this was back in the days when they were still making the frames in Germany, importing them, and then making the slides here. So this is a German frame on the bottom, and what I'm assuming is a U.S. slide on the top. And it is the SAS model. I'll give you a close-up of that. It's kind of pretty. I like the logo in there, which of course has changed. I just like it. It's a pretty gun, two-tone, and this would have been one that would have been a good choice back in the day when I was working. Not really a main gun, but a nice backup gun. It's a little small for the main gun, but it's, boy, it's pretty hefty. I would say this weighs more than the Glock 19 all day long. So it's a little hefty. And it only has 7-round magazine. That gives you 8 rounds. A 40 Smith & Wesson, 180 grain wouldn't be bad. And it's kind of wide, but it's so finely made and just a nice gun. Thought I'd share that with you tonight. And there's 22 minutes. So see, this is what happens when the wife leaves. Mr. Holster gets lonely and he rambles, and his shows end up being too long. But if you like my channel, I'm going to give you a chance to, if you subscribe, to get a little something out of it, maybe. This is what I'm doing tonight. I'm having a contest called the American Gunfighter 5,000 sub giveaway, where I'm giving away a $350 gift certificate to Brownells. And all you got to do to get in my contest tonight is, number 1, be a subscriber. Yeah, because how do I get to 5,000 subs? Unless you subscribe. But when I do get to 5,000 subs, I'm giving away that $350 gift certificate. And if you go to Brownells right now and you check them out, there's some incredible deals on firearms. You could buy yourself a nice Smith & Wesson shield and have money left over that $350, plus get a rebate from Smith & Wesson. But unfortunately, I'm not at 5,000 subs right now. But if I were, that winner would be able to do that. Second, after you subscribe, all you got to do is like this video, and then down in the comment section, this is number 3, the third part of this deal, down in the comment section, just type in what you're thinking, and at the end put 350. And I will put your name down on a piece of paper and put it into this big box I've got. Yeah, it's really big. I think I'm going to use like a pitchfork to mix it up when I pick the name. At any rate, that was Jack's suggestion. Of course, Jack's not here tonight. I don't even believe this. We went out last night, and I took him out on the town, and darn if that guy didn't have 4 dates before the night was over. I tell you that the gals just flocked to him. I don't know what it. Of course, he's got that new haircut, and he had his hair slicked back, and he was looking very spiffy too. I will say, yeah, he was. He had. You know, and I kind of think it's dated, but I don't know. Jack, I think Jack knows because he did well last night. He was wearing his just a plain pastel T-shirt and a sport coat with linen pants, and boy, they just. Matter of fact, I even heard a gal say to him, "You know, you look just like a young Don Johnson." Yeah, she did. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Till next time, that's 24 minutes and 53 seconds of your life you'll never, ever get back again. I'm sorry, but the wife's gone.